Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we are again for once again a fully sold out Chiang Mai SEO Conference. 800 in attendance. You guys are freaking crazy. I gotta tell you, putting together a conference and speaking is a bit too much to handle, but a friend of mine recommended that I just do a conference keynote. So I asked him, okay, that sounds good, but what the hell is it really? And he's like, oh, you get up on stage, you give a 20-minute talk on the state of SEO. So I thought, yes, let's do this. I got a lot to say about this, so here we are. Now this year marks the 10 years since I started doing SEO. Back then I was spamming easy articles, running software for backlinks, making single page websites, stuff like that. Now I haven't been doing SEO longer than anyone else here, no way, but I've indeed walked through multiple landscapes of what ranking has looked like, and I have two things to say about what it looks like now. First is that SEO has never been better. And second is that SEO has never been easier. Now, before you start thinking Diggity has lost his damn mind, let me just present my arguments. First, let's discuss why SEO is better than ever by looking at e-commerce SEO. Now, I'm not sure where I got this, but it's from the internet, so it's probably true. Here's the growth over time of US shopping trends by category. Every year, people are spending more online, even in categories like clothing. Now, that shit's crazy. Like, people don't even care about trying on their clothes to see if they fit or not, as long as they don't have to go to a store or mall to find out. And this graph reports a prediction of the percentage of online shopping versus any shopping in the coming years. It just keeps on scaling up faster and faster. Brendan Tolley gave me this quote: "Search is where sales are made. People now hit search before they hit the local mall." It's so true. When people are buying more online, that means more sales for your products, or more clients if you're doing client SEO. And the platforms for e-commerce SEO are maturing, making it very easy for both shop owners and SEOs to do their jobs. Now, typical e-commerce SEO problems like schema, index bloat, dupe content, these are all easily managed now. Now, this brings more clients simply because just about anyone can set up a shop these days. And lastly, lifetime value of clients is increasing because of hardcore retargeting capability, advanced conversion rate optimization, and cart abandonment. And when customer value increases, margins increase, which means clients can now pay a lot more for services. Speaking of client SEO, check out this table. This is the number of websites that exist on the internet from year to year. When there's more sites on the internet, there's more potential clients. But the great thing is that businesses finally understand the value of SEO. We don't need to explain what are rankings and how that can result in traffic. It's common knowledge now. And when the value is recognized, the price is justified. SEOs no longer have to accept $1,000 a month for 3xing someone's business. And with affiliate SEO, I'm just going to leave you with one simple, crazy benefit of affiliate. You can now flip websites for 40x monthly profit. If you get a website to make $25,000 a month, that means you can exit that business for $1 million. Just think about that. The benefits of this are risk reduction. Once you sell a website, there's no more worry that you could lose traffic, get penalized, or any of that crap. Next, all your resources are restored. Your staff's time, your backlink costs, your content costs, all of that comes back. And then lastly, who doesn't like a huge 6 to 7 figure paycheck? If you're not flipping websites, you're flipping crazy. Now let's talk about why SEO has never been easier. First off, SEO is like a game of poker, where the players are Google's technology versus our smarts. Now in this poker game, the better bet is placed on them, no doubt about that, except they have one fatal flaw. They play with their cards showing. We can actually just look at page 1 and see what the sites in the top positions are doing and mimic that. And we have a great position right now with tools like Ahrefs, Surfer, POP, Quora that are making it super easy for smart SEOs like you guys to reverse engineer and see what's working on page 1. Another bittersweet fact about SEO is that the competition constantly weeds itself out. Who here can think back to at least one SEO buddy that no longer does SEO anymore? It's sad but true. Do you think that happens to plumbers? Or how about even web designers? Web designers don't all of a sudden say, it's getting too hard, I'm going to quit and start doing something else. If anything, it gets easier for them. Now, if you have fortitude and stick around, it just simply gets easier because there's less competition. Now here's what SEO looked like a few years ago, and here's what SEO looks like now. The people in the know, the people that stick around, find themselves competing with less people more and more, and it gets easier because of that. The key is finding out what actually works, which we'll get to later, and it's basically what this conference is all about. Okay, so more people are giving up, but aren't more and more people starting SEO every day? Yes, that is true, but The barrier to entry is higher. First, because it costs more money to get into the game, and second, because it's not easy to find out what really works. As you guys know, there's a lot of SEO garbage out on the internet. So what really works? That's what we're all here for, right? Everyone's got a different answer for this, but here's my philosophy if you heard me talking in the last year. Is to do all the things. The algorithm will never look simple anymore. Sure, you can boil it down to being 80% quality content and backlinks, but that variable 20% is where the battle for the top 5 is won. So which tactics work best? We don't really know, so just do all of them. Starting with content. This is what you want to bank on in 2020 going forward. When the AI is smart enough, just check this out, it doesn't need extraneous signals like backlinks to figure out if something is good or not to rank. It'll just compare all the documents on the internet for best meatloaf recipe and return which one is the best based on the content. It'll be smart enough to know that. So you need to focus on content in 2020. The first recommendation I have for you is to always have the best answer to the query for the robot. Google is still a robot, so yes, write your content, but optimize it knowing that a robot is reading it. Robots read code, so look at your content as code and put the right syntax in the right places. Starting with supersetting the subtopics. Now, what do I mean by this? Look at page 1 and look at all the H2s from the competition. Add them to a list. Look at the recommended searches at the bottom of the SERP. Add them to a list. Look at the people also asked feature. Add them to this list. So essentially, you're going to take the subtopics that are required to answer the query and talk about all of them. Now, in a traditional Venn diagram, you'd be the intersection of all these guys. You don't want to do that. You want to be the superset of them all. You want to cover all their topics and then some. Next, answer the query in NLP-friendly format. You're going to hear more about this in the coming presentations, I'm sure. And optimize your content for TF-IDF, true density, whatever you want to call it. Many people don't think this works, and you know what? Great. The longer they keep believing that, the easier it is for us to rank. You guys know what this is? This means that we're distracted. We don't pay attention to anything anymore, which means for us, we need to work extra hard to really capture people's attention and keep people on our pages. Have super interesting introductions, no fluff in the first paragraph. If someone searches for best juicer, they don't need to know what a juicer is anymore. They already knows what it is, so they want to know which the best one is, so get right to it. At LeadSpring, we always use a research-heavy, non-salesy tone to convey trust. We help skimmers stay on the page with font features like callouts and expert quotes. We use bucket brigades. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Never have big walls of text. Use short, bite-sized paragraphs, 1 to 2 sentences. And to steal a term from Matthew Woodward, we dress up our content with visual pop to actually look good as well. Now raise your hand if you think EAT is important. Okay, who here thinks that the algorithm itself can truly detect EAT? Now I agree with most of you. The algorithm is not going to look up the degree for your fake persona and make sure it's really real. But they can detect the opposite of EAT, when there's actually no author at all that they can tie to a piece of content. Now back to doing all the things, just make sure you're writing with author boxes, having complete about pages that feature those same authors, displaying contact information everywhere, get a GMB even for affiliate sites, and go nuts with schema. Now speaking of schema, we have different schema configurations for our home, about and contact pages, local SEO pages, service pages, single product reviews, review roundups, and informational content. And we're using all types of schema properties, but the big ones are these here. I'm also starting to take a look at sentiment analysis now. There's tons of good software out there that will analyze your content sentiment to find out if it's positive or negative. Here's a pro tip. Objectively written review content is slightly negative in general, which makes sense. If you're being factual, then you need to talk about the good and the bad. Okay, let's talk about backlinks. Basically, backlinks provide one of 3 different things. You can get all of these 3 things from the same backlink, but it's not required. You just need all of these 3 things from your entire link profile for it actually to be effective. Starting with relevance. All links give relevance. The website you get a link from has a topic associated with it. That gives you relevance. The article you get a link from has a topic associated with it. That gives you relevance as well. Now, trust. Trust only comes from, well, sites that Google trusts. These could come from sites like Forbes and IBM, but also sites that Google ranks themselves. That's obviously a good sign that Google likes them if they have organic Google traffic themselves. Ahrefs did a study and they found that only 9% of the internet has traffic. It's one of the things that Google is really stingy about. So if they rank a website, then obviously they're okay with its outbound links. My service authority builders completely focus our link building criteria on this, and we're getting crazy results for our customers. Now, power can come from getting links from articles that are already live and already have links going to them, or also from gray hat techniques like PBNs where you're getting links from home pages that typically have a lot of links. Here's my blueprint for backlinking in 2020. As the site is just starting out, it's in the sandbox. I'm going to link slow with social profile links. I'll set up Facebook, Twitter, YouTube for the website to establish trust. I'll also build business citations and then slowly drip guest posts. Why guest posts? Because guest posts create links on brand new pages. If you look at the natural pattern of the internet, most natural links are created on new pages versus old pages getting modified. In the sandbox, the name of the game is building trust. After that, I'm going to turn up the heat and start linking faster with guest posts and link insertions in existing articles to start to deliver some power. Then optionally, I might use PBNs to snipe target anchor text or as a tier 2. Lastly, when the site has achieved authority status, I'm going to tone up on the quality. I'll get into the hard to land editorial links. I'll do skyscraper outreach, more guest posting and link insertions, and then I'll slowly start peeling off the PBN links that I built earlier. I do this process over and over on dozens of websites at a time. It just straight up works. My last piece of advice for going into 2020 is to get really good at reverse engineering page 1. All these tools like Surfer SEO, Page Optimizer Pro, Ahrefs, and Quora, all these guys make it super easy to figure out what our competitors are doing right, but most of them dump out a lot of information. Here's what I'd focus on. Now, what really matters most generally depends on the SERPs, but in general, here's the ones that I pay attention to most in order. Keyword density, true density, TF-IDF, whatever you want to call it. Critical spot optimization like headings and title tags. Do you have keywords in these places? Word count, page speed, and what backlinks do your competitors have that you don't have? Coincidentally, this is also in order a list of Surfer SEO's most commonly used factors. Thanks for that fact, Surfer. Now let's summarize what we've discussed. We talked about how SEO is better than ever, how SEO is easier than ever, how to create superior pieces of content, how to keep people on that content, EAT essentials, schema essentials, a look at sentiment analysis, how to understand what you want to get from backlinks, what kind of backlinks to build and when you should build them, and what to look for when analyzing page 1. Now you guys, thank you so much. Have a great Chiang Mai SEO 2019.